So I'm going to be sharing all the seeds. Like, there's a lot that I got this year. I will be sharing everything I got, and please let me know if you have any questions. I'm only, this is my 5th year with the garden, with our raised bed garden, and only my 2nd year with growing in a greenhouse. So last year went really well, growing in a greenhouse. So I'm excited because I feel like I understand the process a little better this year. It's an unheated greenhouse, although I do have a heater that turns on when it gets below 50 degrees. The seedling heat mats really help keep that to temperature. But I've learned to just start stuff earlier. It will still grow. It'll just be slower growing than when I used to grow in my house. I had my laundry room totally taken over with seed trays, and they spread out to the entire dining room table. And I'm very glad to have a greenhouse, to not have that in the house anymore. But it's just a little bit trade-off with the time since it's not a heated space. So let me get these organized and I'll show you what I got. I'm gonna start with Johnny's. So Johnny's, again, has no pictures on them. So if I'm able to, I'll figure out how to include a photo in my YouTube video. But Johnny's has amazing pumpkins, gourds, and I have an entire pumpkin patch down the hill that I fill with everything that grows like too crazy for a raised bed. So I do corn in there, sunflowers, and all the pumpkins and gourds, which is awesome because I love to decorate our porch for fall, and I don't have to go and buy super expensive stuff at the pumpkin patch anymore. So first up is, I don't even know if I should show you the packets, but I have a grizzly bear, and I'll try to put pictures here. Porcelain doll, which is my favorite variety from last year. It's like a pastel orangey color. I love how those look. Flat stacker, which are white. They're kind of flat. Now, tomatoes, my absolute favorite, San Marzano, for sauce making, paste tomatoes. They have the best flavor. So San Marzano, I already have a couple more packets of these, but I also sell seedlings in the spring, and these are probably the top. San Marzano and cherry tomatoes are always the first to get sold out. Then I have a butter baby butternut squash. These are little smaller butternut squash. I've grown a larger variety in the past, and they never quite grew as well. So I'm hoping the smaller one does better because I really like butternut squash soup. And then I did get a hybrid bicolor corn. So last year I grew 2 varieties of corn, a glass gem, which was beautiful, and a sweet corn. I also got these pelleted seeds. They are a butter crunch collection. So it's green and red leaf butter crunch, and then oak leaf, and they are probably my favorite lettuces. So I like the pelleted seeds because I direct sow them. It's easier to not have to go back and thin them out because you can see how big the seeds are much bigger than tiny lettuce seeds where you overplant them. Okay, next up, we'll move to Mi Gardener. Mi Gardener was the last company I ordered from, so I didn't get as much from them because I had already gotten a bunch from the other ones. I do like them because they have photos on there. Okay, so let's start with the herbs from Mi Gardener. Marshmallow, I've never grown this before, but I thought the flowers are so pretty on it. And it does have some medicinal uses. I don't know what, well, the roots and leaves are edible. It says it's good when it's fried with onions and garlic. So this will be new for me this year, and yeah, I was excited to try that. Lemon balm, I have not had success growing this. I don't know why. It's like in the mint family, it should be super easy to grow. I grow it in pots, have not had good luck. It's my favorite tea though, so I'm hoping that I can grow enough to dehydrate some of the leaves and make tea, but we'll see. Chamomile, this stuff takes off like weeds, so I do like that though. And basil, you can't have tomatoes without basil. So these are my favorite tomatillos. They're Rio Verde, and I just plant 2 plants in my garden. You need 2 tomatillos to grow, not just 1 plant, to cross-pollinate, and they are insanely productive for me. I can't even handle the amount from 2 plants. So these are really great variety. Bunching onions and shallots. So these 2 I will be starting soon. They're a little slower growing. You want to start anything from like onion family soon. So I will start these the last week of January in the greenhouse. And then this is a new pea variety. It's Wando peas. They are more resistant to heat. My problem with peas is just when they're starting to get productive, we get like a heat wave here and they hate it. So I'm excited to try that out. Black Beauty zucchini, my favorite one I've grown, so I do grow this one every year. And then loofahs. I did not grow them last year. I grew them the year before. They were very productive. They look awesome hanging like down from the cattle panel in our garden. But by the time they were starting to dry out, our rain started here in the Pacific Northwest, and they just got a mushy mess. I tried to bring some in and dry them in the oven. Didn't work for me, but they look cool. Maybe we'll have a drier fall this year and I will get some dried loofah. Okay, Territorial Seed is probably my favorite as far as information in their catalog goes. So they are also based in Oregon, so they have a lot of varieties that are good for the Pacific Northwest, which is where I am in Washington State. And their catalog has great, for every single vegetable, herb, whatever, they have growing information as far as when to plant, soil temp, spacing, diseases, when to harvest. So I keep their catalog to use as a reference. Yes, very, very informative. I like how it's laid out. So for them, I did get a lot of tomatoes and peppers, and then a few flowers and herbs. So nasturtium, my favorite thing besides marigolds to plant with tomatoes and peppers. It just fills in like all the gaps. It keeps weeds down, I think, in my garden because it shades out everything else and it grows really fast. Plus you can eat the flowers. So this is a salmon nasturtium, probably the easiest flower to grow in your garden. And then zinnias, zinnias and cosmos are my weakness for planting flowers in the garden. This is a yellow flame one. I haven't tried that color yet. So, and then I got Nantes carrots, and they are smaller carrot, which seems to work better in our garden. I've never successfully grown like a very huge carrot, so the Nantes, I'm excited to try that. That's a new variety. And then I have Zeppo beet. They are red beet. Okay, then I have some herbs. So I have oregano. I was actually out of seeds for this last year, which is weird because I don't remember planting any last year. Mine never dies. It comes back every year, but I guess I sold seedlings of oregano last year. So this will be a new thing for me to grow this year. It's Agastache, and hopefully I am pronouncing that correctly. Golden Jubilee is the name. I also forgot that I bought Butter Crunch from Johnny's, and I bought more Butter Crunch. I have a little obsession with butter crunch lettuce, but that's okay because I do succession planting. So yes, I will have a lot of lettuce this year. Okay, so for peppers, I don't like the super hot peppers, but like jalapenos, serranos, those are the ones we use mostly, and those are the ones that people seem to want as far as when they buy seedlings for me. So we have habanero, serrano, early jalapenos, which I do the early and then like the regular jalapenos, so I have successions with those. And this is a new one. It's a candy cane chocolate cherry pepper. And let me see if I can find a picture of that because it was very pretty. Then we have tomatoes. So again, cherries and paste tomatoes seem to grow best out here and also sell best for my seedlings. I have had success growing like Castelluto. Those are probably my favorite slicing tomatoes. But unless you have a very southern exposed garden, we just don't get the heat to grow big tomatoes here. Our garden does well because we get a lot of sunlight, direct southern sunlight during the summer, so I am able to grow bigger tomatoes, but the smaller varieties generally do better here because we don't get that sustained heat like other zones. So I have sun gold cherries, which are the orange yellow cherry tomatoes. Then I have regular cherry buzz, they're called, and they're just like a traditional cherry. This will be a new one for me. These are currant. They're called Candyland Red, and they're very small cherry tomatoes. They're supposed to be like one of the sweetest tomatoes. So I'm excited to try those. Hopefully I get them to grow. And then I just have a regular Italian heirloom slicing tomato. Okay, these tomatoes are interesting. These are two heirloom crossed tomatoes. So the first is Genuine, which I'm reading from the catalog, is Brandywine and Castelluto, which Castelluto are my favorite. So this will be an interesting cross. And then Marzanera, which is San Marzano and a cream sausage. I'm not big on cream sausage, but they were very, got a lot of tomatoes that I didn't really like. The chickens ate them, but I love San Marzano, so I'm hoping the cross of the two will be interesting. So that's it for Territorial. Okay, so Baker Creek, I have to say they have the most beautiful catalog. So this is the free variety. You can get the whole seed catalog, which is huge. You have to pay for it, but they have just the absolute most beautiful photos. The whole seed catalog has like awesome stories about where they found the seeds, and it's just a beautiful catalog. They just do such a good job. This is why I bought so much from them, because it makes you want to buy everything that you see. But I don't feel like they have as much growing information as Territorial. They just do a really good job marketing stuff. So, but I love, they have just really good quality seeds. Always something really cool. Like I didn't get this tomato, but this Purple Galaxy, they always make you want to buy new seeds. So, yeah, Baker Creek's a great company to buy from, and they ship super fast. There's still plenty of time to buy seeds for the year. So I have everything separated. I'm gonna start with the free seeds they sent me. So I got a bok choy. It looks like a very tiny variety, which is good. I love bok choy. I did buy a couple varieties of that. And then Merlot lettuce. And this is a winter lettuce, Landis winter lettuce. So I will try all of these. I like getting free seeds, so that's nice. As far as bok choy, these are ones that I do direct seed in the garden, and early spring they like the cooler weather. So I have the Purple Lady. This is one I grow every year. It's very good for our area. And this is a new one. I'm gonna say it wrong. How baby? I don't know, probably saying it wrong. But it's a medium size. I like the smaller kind of bok choys because I like to cut the whole thing off and put it in a stir fry, like slice in half, put it in a stir fry. So yeah, really yummy. They grow very easily too. Going on. Okay, next up are carrots. These are two new ones for me this year. So I got Little Finger. These are supposed to be like 3-inch, like great for snacking, small size. So I'm excited for these. Also, I really like traditional orange carrots the best. I've tried the purple ones. I don't think they taste as good. And red and yellow. I just like the orange ones. So, okay, this coral carrot is more of a traditional, it says 8 to 9 inches long. They're good for heavier soils, although I grow mine in our raised beds, so all of our soils, you know, brought in because it's nice soil, and our own compost. This would be good if you have heavier soils. So it says they resist splitting for heavier soils. Next is delicata squash. So I didn't grow this last year, but a neighbor did, and it's so good. The skin is very thin, so when you cook it, you can just roast it whole and eat the skin. You don't have to peel it. It made excellent soup, and it's like a sweeter squash. So I really like it. I'm excited to try to grow it in our pumpkin patch. Hopefully it'll do well. This is a new beet variety. For me, they're like a longer one. For herbs, I didn't go anything crazy for these ones. I just got Italian parsley, slow bolt cilantro, and Genovese basil, which I can never have enough basil. I feel like when I grow a lot of tomatoes, I need a lot of basil. So for cucumbers, most of our cucumbers get pickled, but I do like ones with thinner skin for making salads and stuff. And the cucumbers don't typically like the super hot afternoon sun, so I plant them by our cattle panels, but the tomatoes kind of shade them a little, and they did incredible last year. So I always get the Boston pickling. Those are my favorite pickling cucumbers. Very high yields with them. This Parisian pickling is a new variety for me this year. It's supposed to be smaller. I kind of want to try pickling whole cucumbers, so we'll see how big these get. Why doesn't it say on here? I don't know. I know I got them because they're supposed to be smaller. And then this beet alpha has a thinner skin, so these would be more of the cucumbers I would use for salads and just snacking on. Okay, taking a break from vegetables, I have a lot of flowers I ordered. So I plant our flowers in between vegetables. I like to intersperse things. I think it keeps the garden more interesting. It also attracts our bees and helps pollinate the vegetables. Well, I just recorded a whole bunch and the camera wasn't on. It was like the opposite. So I was recording when I didn't mean to record and not recording when I was trying to record. Anyway, moving on to flowers. So these are my favorite two varieties to grow in between like tomatoes. They're don't get so big, but they spread really well, keep down the weeds, attract pollinators. So nasturtium, marigold, these are the two color varieties, and I'm sure I have lots of other nasturtium. So I have purple emperor and tip top pink blush. and the flowers are edible, so they're really good. And then marigolds, I just got a tangerine and a white. I know I have yellow still, seeds from last year. And then these are my favorite varieties for cut flowers. So I do plant them in between vegetables, but I also have a few beds that are just flowers that I like to do cut flower garden. So cosmos and zinnias, they just, the more you cut, the more you get. I really think that. So I have a queen lime blush and queen lime red. They're just slightly different there. And then cosmos, I've grown the double Dutch rose, which are so pretty. They're like a really old-fashioned rose color. And then apricota and the yellow. There's such pretty colors. Okay, another favorite for cut flowers are asters, and I have grown the salmon variety. This one will be new for me this year. This is Benary's Princess Bright Red. Snapdragons, I got Cherry Twist. Phlox, this is a Twinkles mix. I've never grown that one before, but they usually grow like weeds. And then I've never grown lace flower before. So this one is just such a pretty color. Hollyhocks, I grow these every year. This is my favorite variety. It's Majorette Double Champagne. It's like a beautiful peach color, and it's so frilly and looks like old-fashioned. It grows for 2 years basically, and then it doesn't flower after that. So you will get flowers the first year, and I think it bloomed for almost 6 weeks last year. So I absolutely love to grow these. I put them in like the backs of my containers because they get very tall. Sunflowers, I plant the teddy bear. They're smaller, like 18 inches. I do plant these in between the vegetables. Again, they attract pollinators. They're super cute and fuzzy. And then as far as the larger sunflower varieties, I like to put down in the pumpkin patch because they get huge. So I have a chocolate cherry, Florenza, that's a new one for me this year. So pretty. And then the double Sun King, which looks like a really big teddy bear one. Okay, all I have left are peppers and tomatoes, and I didn't get that much because I still have a lot from last year. So I don't like the super hot peppers again. So poblanos, they're so good. They're not too spicy, and I really like these. This was the first, last year was the first year I grew them, these jalapenos. They are like a jalapeno without the heat. So those were good. And then I'm excited because these are bell peppers, but they grow well in northern climates. So it's hard for me to grow larger peppers here without our heat. And these ones are specifically for northern climates. So I'm hoping I get some bell peppers this year because I really do love peppers. And then this is a new variety. It's called Blot. And it says it's a good snacking pepper. I just think it's a really pretty variety to try. Okay, so for tomatoes, yellow pear, one of my best-selling seedlings. I was out of seeds. Super prolific here. My favorite slicing tomato, Costaludo. So good. It's like those real wrinkly heirloom kind of tomatoes, just perfect with a little salt on it. So tasty. And then I grew these last year. These are Berkeley pink tie-dye. I had someone specifically request them again this year, and I was out of seeds. I don't think that they were that prolific or that productive of a tomato, but they are very pretty tomato, and they do have good flavor, but it wasn't my favorite to grow. Brandywine, which this is a very common heirloom variety. I've never grown them. I'm not sure I can grow a tomato that big here, but I'm gonna try. they're supposed to be really tasty tomatoes. So, and then I was very excited about these too. So they're both plum type tomatoes. So this is a Grappoli de Inverno. And this is like a Roma tomato. I forget why I bought it, but it looks interesting. It's the winter grape tomato. So we'll see how that goes. And this one, I had to buy this because of the name. It's Evil Olive. And it says they are insanely productive, one of the longest keepers, super long trusses. So these will be growing by the cattle panels. I'll support them. And yeah, I think they're just so pretty, and Evil Olive, they'll probably sell well as seedlings. So I'm excited to try those. So that's my seed haul this year. I will be sharing how I organize these in my seed storage, and yeah, adding them to what I'm growing this year. So excited to start planting.